Welcome back, everybody. Chris, Director of Success over at Dr. Beasley's, freshly back from my trip to sunny Florida, although I did not get to spend much time in the sun because I spent 3 days in the show car garage at Autogeek with Mike Phillips, Yancey, and Andre, and the whole class, and we detailed 14 cars in 3 days, which is an incredible output. I mean, what an experience to be able to get your hands on hundreds of thousands of dollars of tools and chemicals. I mean, there really is no experience out there that even compares to the Mike Phillips Bootcamp. So, anyway, let's get into what was it like at Mike Phillips Bootcamp. Well, I can tell you it was a full array of people that attended. I mean, it's everything from guys that were just enthusiasts and just wanted to learn how to do a better job in their garage, and then you had the guys that were maybe just starting out as part-timers that really wanted to elevate their game to get in the business full-time. And there's even some full-time guys that were just coming back to kind of for a refresher to make sure they're up on the latest technology and techniques. So it's really, it really was the United Nations of detailers. I mean, you had all sorts of socioeconomic backgrounds represented as well. It really was a community building event as well. I mean, it's really great to see, even amongst the vendors. I mean, sure, there was some of our competition there, but in the end, we were all hanging out because we all love detailing cars. So it was nice to know that, I mean, it was very much a community there. Now, as far as some of the tips and tricks that I learned there, I'd say there's one thing that really comes to top of mind when I think about this class, and it comes from our friend Max, who was an attendee at the class. And he was telling us about how he was doing too many test jobs. And what we mean by that is one thing that Mike hammers home on all the time is test spots. Whenever you're detailing a car, you pick your test spot and you dial in your process. So what did we learn from this? Do test spots, not test jobs. I mean, I thought that was just brilliant. I loved it, and I credit Max for coming up with that. And right after he said it, I told it I'm stealing that from you. So thanks, Max, for that. Other things that we featured during our visit there, of course, were our NSPs. We had our 95, 45, and 150, as well as our Z1. One fun little experience with Ryan, one of the attendees there, had I think it was about a 70-71 Cutlass he brought in this metallic green. Did a little wet sanding on it with some 3000 grit Trizac, and then we were able to bring in our NSP Z1 on a polishing pad. I believe it was one of it was the Lakes Country polishing pad. And just with that Z1, I was able to pull out some of those sanding marks to really impressive results. So, you know, that was a very fun experience for me. I honestly was a little nervous doing that, but it was like, man, what great results, you know, especially with the owner of the car standing right next to me. So that was an incredible experience. Another product that we use is our, good old LS10 that you should be familiar with by now. This product is something that we introduced back in January, is our multi-surface spray-on ceramic coating. Again, it proved its value once again and its utility because we can use it on glass, on glossy paint, on trim, so that was nice. But the real exciting part, the big introduction was our confidential product. What was our confidential product? Our prep wash product. So this is something different. This is something that's meant to expose all the flaws and defects that are in the paint before you go into paint correction. And the one thing I found really interesting, now there was Dr. Beasley's cars, there was Griot's Garage cars, there was Rupes cars, and there was even some of our other competition had cars there where they did their cars. Now, everyone did their demos, including myself, with our prep wash. When it came to prepping any of those cars, we went to go do the Griot's, who has their Boss system. What was that car prepped with? The Dr. Beasley's prep wash. I mean, Mike fell in love with this stuff, man, and it is awesome. So we can't wait to get it out. We're just going to do a couple last tweaks on the formulation, and then we should have this thing ready to rock and roll here in the next, hopefully 6-8 weeks top. But I'm hoping to get this out to you as soon as possible because this product is going to be a rock star. Now, when we got through the whole class, all the cars, all 14 cars, there were some interesting ones there. Of course, there was some fair variety of hot rods, which are kind of cool. There was I think it was a 34 Ford, which immediately, recalled the ZZ Top Eliminator. But one of the cool things for me in particular was working on a 25th anniversary Lotus Esprit Turbo. Such a cool car, and I actually got to pull it out of the garage. So I was able to knock that one off the list. I finally got to drive an Esprit Turbo. So that was kind of cool, and a little personal accomplishment for myself. Other than that, I would say, the best part of this class, again, is being able to put your hands on all these chemicals and all these tools from all these different vendors and suppliers and manufacturers, which really is nothing you're going to find anywhere else. And let me tell you, when it comes to working with Mike Phillips, I mean, the knowledge that guy has is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how the guy can keep his energy level that high. I mean, he puts on the whole class, not a segment here, a segment there. I mean, he was on his feet, and he is waxing poetic about detailing for 3 days straight. It's unbelievable. But he is also, I mean, just that kind of grandfatherly kind of thing where he's supportive and nurturing us too. I'm like, he'll crack the whip if he sees you standing around, as we were saying, time to lean, time to clean. But, at the same point, he's going to come around and make sure that, we're doing everything as it's supposed to be done. I know I was a little bit nervous about working with a rotary buffer. I mean, how great was it to have Mike Phillips standing right behind me, coaching me up on that? So that was an incredible experience at that as well. And I will tell you one other little nugget of knowledge that Mike Phillips passed along to myself that I will continue to tell everyone I can about, and that is qualifying your customer. And I thought this was the most brilliant qualifying question I have ever heard. So you have your customer come in and you want to know, I mean, how does this guy take care of his car? How do you find that out? And you find that out with one simple question. Ask your customer, how do they wash their car? And think about that. That's going to tell you everything you need to know. Is the guy going to the Swirl-O-Matic on a weekly basis? Or is he sitting in his driveway and, I hand wash my car every week and it takes me 3 hours in my driveway to do so? Okay, that's our guy right there. That's the guy that can handle a 25-year coating. But if it's a customer that, I just really want the inside clean, you can find that out with one simple question. How do you wash your car? And I felt also rewarded because at the end of class, there it is, folks, my Mike Phillips Detailing Bootcamp Certificate of Participation. So I was honored that to get this from Mike, and I'll be framing this here up shortly and put it right next to my IDA certifications as well, to be hung proudly on one of these walls behind us. So in the end, I wanted to thank Mike and Yancey and Andre for their hospitality. I mean, what a class those guys put on. The hospitality is second to none. I can't thank them enough. And I honestly, I'm excited to do it again. Now, you weren't able to make it this time. Check out down below in the description. We're going to have dates for the next class this fall. And I hope to see you there.